The road stretched endlessly, a ribbon of cracked asphalt cutting through fields of swaying golden grass. Jack's truck rumbled along, its tires crunching against loose gravel as he scanned the horizon. He hadn't seen another soul for miles. It was the kind of place where the wind carried only the sound of rustling leaves and the distant cries of unseen birds. Peaceful, yet eerily desolate. The sun hung low, its golden light melting over the land, casting long shadows that swayed like specters. Jack adjusted his grip on the steering wheel, humming along to the radio's static-riddled tune, when something flickered in his periphery. A movement, subtle but undeniable, just beyond a broken section of the old wooden fence that ran alongside the road. He slowed instinctively, eyes narrowing. A mound of dried grass shifted, revealing the shape of an animal. Jack pulled onto the shoulder, killed the engine, and sat for a moment, watching. The wind tousled the tall grass, momentarily obscuring the form before revealing it again. A dog. Her golden fur was matted with dust, her body curled protectively around something half-hidden beneath her. Puppies. Jack's chest tightened. Stepping out of the truck, he moved cautiously, not wanting to startle her. The mother dog lifted her head weakly, dark eyes glassy with exhaustion. She didn't growl, didn't bare her teeth, but her muscles were taut, ready to defend her newborns. Jack crouched a few feet away, keeping his voice low and steady. "Hey girl. It's okay. I'm not gonna hurt you." The mother's ears twitched, her breathing ragged. Beneath her, the puppies squirmed blindly, tiny bodies huddled against her warmth. They were newborns, so small they barely looked real, their fur still damp from birth. But as Jack's gaze settled on them, something felt off. One of the puppies had an unusual marking, a dark streak running down its spine like ink spilled on golden silk. Another, impossibly, had eyes already open, strikingly blue, gleaming with an awareness that sent an inexplicable shiver through Jack. Newborns shouldn't even be able to see yet. His pulse quickened. "What happened to you guys?" He glanced around. There were no houses, no signs of an owner. Just an endless stretch of countryside and an abandoned dirt path that led deeper into the field. Had she been dumped? Had she run away? And if so, from what? Jack reached for his phone, intending to call the local shelter, but hesitated. The wind shifted, carrying a strange scent, something metallic, faint but distinct. Blood. His gaze dropped to the mother dog's fur, now noticing the scar on her neck, a jagged line that looked disturbingly precise. Not the result of an accident or another animal's bite. It was clean. Surgical. Jack's stomach twisted. He dialed the shelter, lifting the phone to his ear. The line rang twice before someone picked up. "Crossroads Animal Rescue, this is Dana." Jack kept his voice calm. "Hey, I just found a stray. She just gave birth. Looks like she needs help. Where are you located?" "A mile marker 22 off Route 17. Middle of nowhere, really." A pause. Then, "Can you describe the dog?" Jack frowned. "Golden retriever. She's weak but alert. The puppies look different. One's got a weird stripe on its back. Another," he stopped, unsure how to explain. "It's got these bright blue eyes. Doesn't seem normal." The silence on the other end stretched a second too long. Then, Dana's voice lowered. "You're sure about that?" Jack shifted uncomfortably. "Yeah. Why?" Another pause. When Dana spoke again, her tone had changed. "Stay there. Don't move." The line went dead. Jack stared at his phone. Static crackled in the air, the wind momentarily dying as an unsettling stillness settled over the field. The mother dog let out a low whimper, pressing her puppies closer. Jack's instincts screamed at him that something wasn't right. And then, from beyond the broken fence, deep within the tall grass, something moved. Watching. Waiting. Jack's grip tightened on his phone, the dead line still pressed to his ear. The silence that followed Dana's abrupt words felt heavier than it should have, thick like fog settling into the crevices of his mind. The mother dog let out another faint whimper, shifting slightly, her body still curled protectively around her litter. Jack swallowed hard and forced himself to move. He wasn't the type to scare easily. Years on the road, odd jobs in the most remote corners of the country, encounters with all sorts of people. He'd seen enough to know when something felt off. And this? This wasn't just off. It was wrong. The strange marking on the puppy's back. The two blue eyes. The scar on the mother's neck. Jack cast a glance toward the grass beyond the broken fence. The movement he'd spotted earlier had disappeared, but that didn't ease the prickle at the back of his neck. The sun had nearly dipped below the horizon now, casting long, creeping shadows across the land. The fields, once golden and warm, were taking on a muted, ghostly hue beneath the twilight. The wind picked up again, carrying the distant rustle of unseen things shifting in the grass. He turned back to the mother dog. "All right, girl," he murmured, crouching beside her. "Let's get you out of here." She flinched as he reached out, her body trembling, but she didn't growl or snap. Jack moved carefully, gently running a hand over her fur. She was underweight, her ribs faintly visible beneath her coat. She had been out here a while. Too long. He took off his jacket and laid it on the ground, preparing to move her and the puppies. But as he gathered the tiny newborns, cradling them carefully, that metallic scent hit him again. Stronger this time. His stomach turned as he looked closer. Blood. Not from the mother. Not from the puppies. From the ground beneath them. Jack swallowed, his breath shallow as he shifted the dried grass aside. The earth was stained dark, still damp in patches. His pulse hammered as he noticed something buried just beneath the soil, something small, smooth. A tag. A collar tag. With shaking fingers, he pried it loose, rubbing the dirt away. The name etched into the metal sent a chill racing through him. Property of Blackwell Research Facility. Jack's mind raced. He had no idea what that was, but every instinct screamed that he didn't want to find out. The mother dog whined suddenly, low and anxious. Jack's head snapped up. Footstep. Not his. Not an animal's. Measured. Deliberate. Someone was out there. Jack didn't think. He scooped the puppies into his jacket, secured the mother in his arms, and turned toward his truck, moving fast. The crunch of footsteps quickened behind him, closing in. His heart pounded as he reached the driver's side, yanking the door open. He barely had time to get in before a shadow passed the edge of his vision, a figure emerging from the tall grass, just at the edge of the broken fence. Jack didn't look back. He slammed the door, threw the truck into gear, and floored it. The tires kicked up dust as he sped away, his hands white-knuckled on the wheel. In the rearview mirror, the lone figure stood unmoving, watching him go. Jack didn't breathe until the road curved, and the figure vanished from sight. Then, and only then, did he exhale shakily, glancing at the trembling dog beside him, her pups nestled in his lap. Whatever he had stumbled into, it wasn't over. It was just beginning. Jack drove fast, his hands clenched around the steering wheel, his pulse still hammering. The old truck rattled over the dirt road, its headlights cutting through the deepening night. The mother dog whimpered beside him, her eyes darting toward the window as if she could sense something out there, still watching. The collar tag sat on the dashboard, its inscription glaring under the glow of the instrument panel. Property of Blackwell Research Facility. Jack had spent enough time on the road to know when something didn't add up. He'd seen his share of rundown labs, abandoned testing sites, and hush-hush government projects buried in the middle of nowhere. But Blackwell? That was new. His gut told him it wasn't just some pet research center. He needed help. Jack grabbed his phone, scrolling to Dana's number. The last conversation had ended abruptly, but she was the only person he trusted. She picked up on the first ring. "You need to get out of there." Her voice was sharp, urgent. No greeting. No questions. Just pure, unfiltered warning. "I'm already gone," Jack said, glancing at the road behind him. The empty stretch of highway looked normal, but he couldn't shake the feeling that something was trailing him. Tell me what's going on. Dana hesitated. You said you found a dog? A golden retriever. Yeah. With a fresh litter. But there's something wrong with the pups. One of them has markings. Unusual ones. The silence on the other end stretched too long. Dana. I don't know the full story, she admitted, her voice lower now. But Blackwell isn't just a research facility. It's private. High clearance. Government adjacent, but not officially. I tried digging. There's barely anything on record. But I found one thing. Jack waited. There was an incident. 5 months ago. A breach. Something escaped. His grip tightened on the wheel. Dana continued. No details, but I found a partial document, mentions of genetic trials, behavioral enhancements, and one phrase that kept popping up, Project Anubis. Jack's stomach twisted. The mother dog shifted, her ears perking up as though she, too, recognized the name. Jack, Dana said, her voice barely above a whisper. Whatever you have in that truck, it's not just a stray. Jack exhaled slowly, his thoughts racing. He glanced down at the puppies nestled against his jacket. They looked normal enough, soft and sleepy, their tiny bodies rising and falling with each breath. But the one with the markings, the one with those eerily blue eyes, stirred. It opened its eyes. Jack nearly swerved off the road. The pup wasn't looking at him. It was looking past him, its bright, almost luminescent gaze fixed on the darkened road behind them. Jack's breath came shallow. He forced himself to glance at the mirror. At first, there was nothing. Just an empty stretch of highway. Then the headlights caught something. A second set of lights. Small. Distant. Moving fast. Too fast. Jack cursed under his breath. Dana. I think I'm being followed. Of course you are. She sounded grim. Jack, listen to me. You need to lose them. Whatever Blackwell lost, they'll do anything to get it back. Jack didn't need convincing. His foot slammed on the gas, the old truck roaring as it surged forward. The mother dog whined, the puppies stirring at the sudden movement. The car behind him sped up, headlights growing brighter. Jack gritted his teeth. He knew this stretch of road. If he could make it to the old bridge up ahead, he might have a shot at shaking them. The truck rattled as he took a sharp turn, the tires skidding slightly on loose gravel. The pursuing car followed effortlessly, sticking to him like a predator on prey. Then, without warning, the headlights behind him vanished. Jack blinked. 1 second, the vehicle had been right there. The next, it was gone. His pulse pounded. He scanned the mirrors, the road, the darkened fields stretching out on either side. No movement. No sound except the hum of his own engine. Dana, he muttered. They're gone. They're not gone, she said. They're just smarter than you. A chill ran down Jack's spine. The mother dog let out a low, warning growl. Then, from the darkness beyond the road, something moved. Jack didn't see it, not fully. But he felt it. A presence, keeping pace with the truck. Faster than any human. Faster than a normal animal should be. His fingers tightened on the wheel. His breathing was shallow. Something wasn't right. Then, just as suddenly as the other car had disappeared, the truck's engine sputtered. Jack's stomach lurched. The dashboard lights flickered. The radio cut to static. The power steering locked up. And then the truck died. The headlights shut off, plunging the road into total darkness. Jack barely had time to curse before he heard it. A low, guttural sound. Not a growl. Not a snarl. Something else. Something watching. Waiting. The mother dog pressed against Jack's leg, trembling. The puppy with the blue eyes let out a tiny whimper, its gaze still fixed on the unseen thing in the dark. Jack reached for the ignition, his hands unsteady. He twisted the key. The engine clicked. Didn't turn over. Another click. Nothing. The sound outside grew closer. Jack exhaled, steadying himself. His mind raced, calculating his next move. The truck was dead. The road was empty. And whatever was out there, it was getting closer. Jack's breath was slow, measured. His heartbeat, however, was erratic, pounding against his ribs like a warning drum. He couldn't see it, but he could feel it. Something was in the dark. The mother dog pressed tighter against his leg, her body trembling, ears pinned back. The puppy with the eerie blue eyes made a soft noise, barely a whimper. It wasn't fear. It was something else. Anticipation. Jack turned the key again. Click. Nothing. A low hum began to fill the air, not mechanical, not natural. It was a vibration, like static crawling under his skin, making the hair on his arms rise. The truck's dead radio crackled. Then, just for a second, a voice. Return the subject. Jack's throat tightened. The headlights flickered for half a second, barely enough time to glimpse what stood just beyond the road. A figure. Tall, unnaturally still. Its silhouette wavered, as if reality itself struggled to contain it. The moment the lights cut out again, Jack moved. He didn't think, thinking would have slowed him down. He grabbed the puppy, cradling it against his chest, and flung the door open. The mother dog leapt out before him, instantly positioning herself between Jack and the thing in the dark. The air was thick, heavy. Each breath felt like breathing through water. Jack didn't look back. He ran. The dirt crunched beneath his boots as he bolted toward the tree line. The mother dog stayed by his side, silent and tense. The other puppies were still in the truck, but he didn't have a choice. If he stayed, they'd all be lost. A sharp noise rang through the night, like metal scraping against bone. Then, movement. Fast. Unnatural. Jack barely had time to register it before something lashed through the air behind him. A force, not a hand, not a claw, just pressure, slammed into his back, sending him sprawling. The puppy tumbled from his arms, letting out a sharp yelp. Jack rolled, gasping as pain flared up his spine. His fingers dug into the dirt as he scrambled up, eyes darting wildly. The puppy. Where was? The mother dog was already there, standing protectively over the tiny creature. And across from her, just beyond the flickering glow of the truck's failing lights, it stood. Jack still couldn't see it fully. His mind refused to process its shape. Every time he tried to focus, it seemed to change, growing, shifting, warping. But he saw the eyes. Not too many. A glimmering constellation of piercing, liquid blue eyes, each shifting, blinking in and out of sync. Jack's pulse was deafening. The mother dog growled, low and dangerous. The thing did not move. But it spoke. Not aloud. Inside his head. Return the subject. Jack gritted his teeth. Not gonna happen. A pause. Then the eyes flickered, focused, not on Jack, but on the puppy. The tiny creature, the one with the unnatural markings, locked gazes with it. And for a moment everything was still. Then, impossibly, the thing hesitated. Jack didn't waste the moment. He moved fast, snatching the puppy up in one arm while gripping the mother dog's collar with the other. He turned on instinct, sprinting in the opposite direction, deeper into the trees. The hum behind him grew into a roar. The air pulsed, warped. Jack didn't stop. He didn't look back. Branches tore at his skin as he crashed through the forest, the mother dog keeping pace at his side. The puppy didn't make a sound. It just held on to him, impossibly still. Then, without warning, silence. The hum vanished. The air stilled. Jack stumbled to a halt, chest heaving. He turned. Nothing. No eyes. No figure. No flickering shape in the dark. Just trees. A long moment passed. Jack exhaled sharply, running a hand over his face. His body trembled, adrenaline leaving him lightheaded. The mother dog whined softly. Jack looked down at the puppy in his arms. Its tiny body was warm against his chest. Those strange blue eyes stared up at him, not afraid, not confused. Just watching. Jack swallowed hard. Whatever had been after them, it had backed off. For now. But it wasn't over. Not yet. Jack didn't know what he had just escaped. He didn't know what the puppy truly was. But one thing was clear. He wasn't going to let anyone take it.